Hey, Crazy Gamer modeling fans and modelers, how's it going? I have a tool review for you. This won't go on my Patreon page because I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. It'll go up there, but it won't go up there first. So I'm sorry to my Patreon that this is gonna. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm gonna have to look it up. But this is the Mr. Hobby G Tool Cordless Router Pro 2. Um, it's pretty cool. It comes in this package, and it comes with a little sanding disc that I find pointless. But it's all in different language, so I'm not worried about that. I myself personally use off the camera. I use a Dremel with a multi-shaft, with a flex shaft, and a foot pedal. It's not on, but I use a foot pedal to clean up little parts. But as you can see, it spins a little fast, and it can be a little rough, and it can be run a little bit out of alignment. So I was looking for something that I could do little parts, because if you take a little part like this, like for example on my Tiger 1 I'm building from Ryfield Models, this part is tiny and it had a nasty sprue nib on it. So if I tried to clean this up with that Dremel tool, I probably could do it if I gripped it in some tweezers, but I probably mangle the part or ping it off, and just it would be gone. It's happened, trust me. So this is a little cordless router. It takes two AAA batteries that go in the back here. I use rechargeable, and it has a 2.35 collet. You push it down, and then you just stick it in there. And 2.35, you have to buy special size burrs. Your burrs that fit in a Dremel, your standard 1/8" burrs won't fit. But when I ordered it, I ordered some ball ones and some different size of these taper points. I ordered some other ones, but because of the storm, it won't be here. So for a while, but I'm going to do this tool review anyways because I've used it like 4 or 5 times, and it's fantastic. Right now I have just a little pointed burr in there, and if I take a little part like this, I'm going to try to get this on camera here. If I take a little part like this, I could take this and spin this. Wow, this is hard. And then I could take it and I could just run across that nub. Just like that. And the nub's gone. I run a little extra thin over there, and it'll be perfectly smooth. So, I mean, this one I could have hit with a file or a sanding stick, but the one that I used it on, like I said, was this little one right here, because there was a nib right there. Sorry if I'm bumping the camera. There was a nib right there, and I couldn't get in there with any kind of sanding stick or anything. So this got in there real nice. Here's another little piece right here. And as you can see, right there, it's hard to see, but there's a little nib right there. So I'm going to trim most of it off. So I had to pull it away from my optimizers. So I got most of the nib off, and there's just a little bit on there. I could get in there with a file, but I risk losing the part. I'm just going to hold it. I'm just going to take this like this. Just run it across there, like so. Real gentle. It's hard to get a hold of. I would normally probably hold this in a pair of tweezers. And then I dropped it. But it's very hard because I need to use my optivisor for it, because the piece is, I mean, this piece is probably 1 millimeter by like 4 millimeters in half a millimeter thick, if that. It's super tiny. And these pieces are all tiny. I mean, I don't know if you'll be able to see the pieces in there, but look how small those pieces are. The bottom of that dish is about the size of a $1/2. You can see how small the pieces are, and then this right field model kit is just packed full of detail and little parts. So something like this, I use, like I said, I use the Dremel with a flex shaft, and I think it's fantastic. I've used one my whole career, my whole adult life, even in my childhood. I used the Dremel. I mean, I think they're a fantastic tool. Um, I never had much use for the flex shaft until I started doing scratch building, engineering, and prototyping. Even then, I'd still use just the regular Dremel. But the flex shaft's good. But this thing, I mean, it runs so smooth and at such a low RPM, and it's just easy to hold it like a pen. And you can just carve it out. And with the different bits, I mean, I'll show you what I got. I mean, this was 2 kits that were a couple dollars. Got a little ball mills and a bunch of these little straight taper tips. I have some other, like I said, I have some other tips, but they won't be here for a while. But they do a fantastic job. You know, they leave a decent finish. These tips, they're from Amazon. The G tool was from eBay, directly from Japan. So it was probably 4 to 6 weeks before I actually got it. And when it actually got here, what I originally wanted it for, I've already moved on from, and it was just sitting for a couple days, and then I came across, I started doing this Ryfield model. It's not going to be painted. It's just something to build in case my power went out, and I was like, wow, this little cordless tool is going to be perfect for that. Especially if I need to sand something with no power. So I, it came in, it worked, and I started using it, and I've used it. I mean, about 4 or 5 days, over 4 or 5 days, I've used it in about 10 or 15 parts each day, and it fits a spot in your tools. I'm not saying you're gonna grab it every day. You can use it for a lot of things, but I find it more useful on the smaller parts, or with nibs, or with curves and things like that that you need to get in there with the small tip. I mean, you can get a tip that small, and you can clean out a hole or anything. Let's see if I can get the focus. I mean, you can get them any size. You can get them that small with a ball on the end of it. Like here's one with a teeny tiny ball on the end of it. I mean, you're not going to be able to hog out a lot of plastic quickly, but if you take your time and go real slow, then it's going to work for you. And when your tip gets dirty, just brush it out, just like wipe it off, and then just brush some extra thin over it, and it will get all the remnants out. But I mean, just brushing it off because I didn't dig it into the plastic and it didn't melt on there. It came clean very quickly. So, but if it does get a little clogged up and you can't just brush it off, brush a little extra thin on there, and it'll just eat that plastic right away and just wipe it off. So, but that's this. I haven't had a use for the ball ones yet. Sure, I'll come up with a use. I bet you they'll be nice for getting an ejector pin out or whatnot. Probably could have used that yesterday and didn't think about it. When you have a bunch of options, you don't, you grab one that you're used to. Like, I normally take an ejector pin out with a scalpel, like a recessed ejector pin I use. There it is. I have multiple scalpels. But I use like this, and I like scrape it out. But that ball bit, I think, would work pretty well for that instance. So, but it's just a quick tool review. Remember, it's the Mr. Hobby G2 Cordless Router Pro 2. GT09 semicolon 3900. eBay would be your best bet, I guess. It's made in Japan. It is Mr. Hobby product, so it is pretty good. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you for joining me for another tool review. Sorry this didn't go up on Patreon first. I apologize. Thank you to all my supporters, all those who comment in the comment section below, and all those who like and share my videos. I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully next week everything will be back on track. Today is Tuesday the 3rd, 2019, and I'm hoping that everything blows over and I'm back on track next week. I got the mech workshop back out. I had it put away in case for water damage purposes, but I don't think anything's going to happen now, so this is half done, half the video's made. I'm going to get the other half done and get this video up and get this out to Love Minis because he's been waiting for it, and I feel guilty that I haven't gotten it to him yet. So if you're watching this, Love Minis, I deeply apologize, and I am sorry it hasn't gotten out to you yet, but it will be in the mail hopefully next week, and you will have it shortly. So that'll do it for this video. Thank you for watching. For Crazy Gamer Models, I am the Crazy Gamer. You guys have a fantastic day.